Hi, my name is Paul Grogan and welcome to the video log for the month of October 2018, where I'm going to be talking about all of the things that I got up to in October and what my plans are for the next month. So, as always, thank you very much to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you, this video and a lot of the other content that I create would simply not be possible. If you do enjoy the content that I create, then please consider supporting me over at patreon.com/gaming rules. Now, each month I like to give a thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Well, everybody, but also specifically the ones who have started supporting me in October. So let's go through some special thank yous for the people who started supporting me in October. So, got my trusty laptop here, if it's working. So we've got 4 new executive producers. So thank you very much to everybody at the executive producer level. We have Daniel Koenig-Schreiber. Thank you very much, Daniel. And I'll see you each year at, Essen and BGG-Con, although I won't be at BGG-Con this year, unfortunately. Just a shame didn't get a chance to sit and play a game this year. David Pearce, thank you very much, Dave, for coming on board. Thomas Roche as well. I don't know if it's Roche or Roche, but thank you very much, Thomas. And Andy Grant has also upgraded his pledge to be a executive producer, but he didn't want a mention, he didn't want any fanfare or anything else, so I'm not even going to mention it. Right, a few new people at producer level. See if I can get this laptop to wake up. Right, so new producers. We have Andrew Turner, thank you very much, Andrew. Jez Overton, thank you. Louis Downs, thank you very much, Louis, and good work at Essen. Nilsson Venes, thank you very much. And Raimundo Alejandro. So thank you very much for all of my new producers. Now, a few people have upgraded their pledge to producer level, which is always nice to see. So that's Alexandra P, thank you. Lee Stanford, and Carl de Border, thank you very much, and I hope the Cerebria video was good for you. So they are all the new executive producers and producers. There's another thanks to people who've backed at a lower level. So we have GNG, thank you very much. MX Fraud, thank you. Penny Schechter, thank you very much, Penny. Always good to have your support. Penny is the designer of Age of Humanity. And a couple of other games as well. That's probably the biggest one, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. PSZ Nix, thank you very much. Toby Liggins, good to have you on board, Toby, and we should get a game together at some point because I've heard you like playing games, and I do too, so that's good. And Zoe Williams, thank you very much. And Chris Spath has also, you've upgraded your place, so thank you very much, Chris. Good to have you on board. Now, Patreon supporters, as well as supporting me and the content that I create, there's also a monthly contest every month. And this month it was to win a copy of Hero Master, published by Jamie Noble Fryer, designed and published by Jamie Noble Fryer. And I'm going to go over to the computer now and do the draw. So here we are, we have all of the Patreon supporters listed here on my spreadsheet, and executive producers basically get 3 entries. And producers get 1 entry. So this is everybody who's in here on the list. And I now need to generate a random number. So I'll pop in this formula here. And the number is 38. So let's scroll up. And it's Martin Anderton. So congratulations, Martin. Okay, now I've spoken to Martin. I know Martin, he lives in London. And I said to Martin, have you backed Hero Master from Jamie, by the way? And he said, yes, I have. And I was like, right. Well, you've just won the monthly contest where you've won a copy of Hero Master. So what Martin has agreed to do is he is going to basically put the game into a raffle where we're going to raise money for a charity of my choice. And it's going to be something connected to Macmillan probably because of the things that have happened to my mum this year. So watch this space on the Board Game Trading and Chat UK Facebook group. I'm saying that, I've not spoken to Chris yet, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. And I'll speak to Jamie and see if I can get him to sign it. And basically we're going to do a charity raffle where we give a copy of that game away. So thank you very much to Martin for giving up your prize and helping raise money for a good cause. Now, the prize for next month is my favourite game of all time. Now, my phone's just fallen down. That's what the rocking was. And there's probably going to be a little bit of echo here, but whatever. I need to buy some more foam. That reminds me. Yeah, need to order some more foam from Amazon. Right, anyway, my favourite game of all time, Mage Knight. For those people who don't know, Mage Knight is getting a new edition this year. It's the Mage Knight Ultimate Edition. It's basically combining the base game and all of the expansions all into one big box with a completely a revised rulebook, basically containing all of the rules from all of the expansions all in there. So there's no changes to the game. The game is not changing. So it's a new edition, but there's no changes to the game itself. But WizKids are doing a new big box edition, and WizKids have basically said to me that I can have a copy to use for the giveaway. Now, I don't have a copy of the game. They haven't sent it to me. They were going to send it to me, and I said, no, don't send it to me. Wait until I've done the draw, and then I will give you the details of the person who wins it, and then you can send it on to them. Because if the person who wins it is not in the UK, for example, it makes a lot more sense for WizKids to send it direct to them. So, pretty excited about it. It is my favourite game of all time, and I did work a bit on the rulebook for this edition. Not as much as I worked on the rulebook for the last edition, which I had to take 2 weeks off work to. God, they were back in the days where I used to have a job. Anyway, so you can win a copy of Mage Knight Ultimate Edition. All you need to do is be a supporter of mine on Patreon this month. So whether you are already a supporter or you decide to start supporting me this month, then yeah, you can win a copy of that. So thank you very much to WizKids for donating the prize. And good luck to everybody. I'll do the draw start of next month. Right, moving on. So some of you may have noticed something different in the studio. This is a game topper. I got a game topper from Essen. Ian helped me bring it back. I say helped me bring it back. Ian brought it back in his car. We set it up. I'm pleased to announce that Game Toppers are going to be basically a sponsor of the show. So you're going to see their logo at the start of each of the videos. And this is the next step in improving the channel. It looks fantastic, and I'm hoping it's going to just generally improve things. It's certainly going to be the playing surface is going to be a better surface for me to do filming on. And yeah, so thank you very much to Kevin for making this happen, for bringing one all the way over to Essen, and for Ian for bringing it all the way back for me. What's next on my list? Games played. Right, so let's talk about some of the games that I played in October, which was not as many as I would have liked, but I was very busy getting ready for Essen and producing a lot of content. So let's see. Detective, a modern crime board game. Now, I spoke about this in the last video log, and we've played another 2 games of it. We did cases 3 and we did case 4. So we've only 1 more case to go. We also did the preview case, which is case 6, but we did that first as a warm-up. So anyway, the game itself, not counting the special preview case, comes with 5 cases. We'd done 2 before, and we've just done, this month we did case 3 and case 4. Now case 3 I wasn't too keen on, to be honest. Cases 1 and 2 were part of a story where you're investigating things that have happened in World War II, and it's not really a spoiler, that's right at the start. And the story continued from case 1 to case 2. Case 3 was a completely different thing, and I was kind of getting involved in the story, and it was quite good. And case 3 was something very different. And it seemed to have just been a one-off case. So I'm happy in a way that they did something different, but I wasn't too keen on that particular case. The other thing as well, I mean, it all worked fine. Some of the narrative was a bit out in that it kind of assumed that you were doing things at a certain time of the day, and we weren't. So, and it's the same problem with Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and the writing of these games is tricky to get right. In that, you know, it might not match what's happening. So basically, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we went to somebody's house, or we called somebody up, and it was like, oh, you've woken them up from their sleep, and oh, what are you calling me at this hour for? You know, I was having a good, and I'm like, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And the game had assumed that a lot of the things that we were doing were going to be done in the early hours of the morning, and they weren't. So the narrative was a bit thrown off. Anyway, I was really looking forward to getting back to case 4, and I'm happy to say that case 4 did go back to the main storyline, which was good, with a little bit from case 3 in there. So yeah, now case 4, we had the same problem with it as we've had with the other cases. We were going around, we were speaking to people, we were putting together pieces of the puzzle, as you do, and that's fine. But then we did the questions at the end, and again, we got all of the questions right, but then we lost a whole bunch of points because we didn't have any matching evidence. And I still can't understand how the matching evidence is supposed to work. We put in all of the codes that we found, every single fingerprint, every single bit of DNA, we put it all in. We put everything in. We didn't miss anything, and we went everywhere, and we used more than our time allowance. But we got 0 out of 10 matching evidence, and therefore we got no points, and it said case lost, even though we got the questions all right. So I'm really not happy with the scoring system in the game. We're enjoying the game, and if you're like me and we kind of don't care about the scoring system, it's like we'll just play the game, we'll learn it, we'll have the experience, we'll answer the questions, and we'll try and get as many of the questions right. Then we're all good. But when it comes to knocking us points off for this matching evidence, which we've no idea how we could have got, even though we answered the questions right, it's all a bit weird. So anyway, hoping to finish case 5 fairly soon, and then that's that game wrapped up. Forum Trajanum, which is on the table in front of me, because I haven't put it away from the game the other night. So this is a game which I picked up at Essen Spiel. I'll be talking about that later on. And I played it once while I was at Essen, and I've played it once since getting back. It's the only game I've played since getting back. Ian came round and helped me set up my game topper and bring it to me. So thank you very much, Ian. And we played a game of Forum Trajanum. I really like it. I mean, it's Steffenfeld, and I like Steffenfeld games, but I'm really enjoying it. And I do want to play it again. I've enjoyed my 2 plays so far. For me, it's medium weight. It sits in the... It says 30 minutes per player on the box. It's probably about that. Maybe a little longer for your first game. Maybe a bit longer if you're getting distracted by posting pictures of it on social media, which I do. But really liking Forum Trajanum. So that's Hutch, Stronghold Games, Steffenfeld. Paul Inkhow was a developer on it. So all good. The Lost Expedition from Osprey Games. Got a copy of this at Tabletop Gaming Live and played it a couple of times. Now, I'd heard a number of things about this game, and I wanted to try it for myself to see what it was like. It's a cooperative game, and we played 2 games of it, and we played 4 players both times. I would probably not play 4 players again, because 2 of the people at the table, it's a puzzle, and you've got the card playing phase part of it, okay, which is fine, and that can be any number of players. But then when you actually get down to sort of working out the puzzle and which cards to swap over and everything else, that's a 1 or 2 person job, and anybody else at the table is kind of feeling a little left out. And I try very hard on not taking over the game and telling everybody what to do, but a couple of people working out that puzzle would be great. 4 people for us was a bit too many. I'd also heard that the game was really hard. Now, we played the first game on the easy setting, and we did it. And then we played the next game on not quite the next setting up, because I think one of them has 7 cards and the next one has 9. So I basically said, well, let's do 8 cards. And we did that one as well. It didn't seem that hard, or it didn't seem as hard as I thought. But then when I looked at the characters at the end, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, one of them's dead and the other one's got 1 health left. So maybe it was. But yeah, quite a nice little game. It's got elements of the Grizzled, in that you're all having to play cards one after the other to basically build up the expedition, but you're not allowed to talk to each other during that process. And then you basically, as I say, it's a little bit like a puzzle. You work out where to go, what to do, and everything else. So quite liked that. Have the expansion as well, and do want to try that again. Fairly simple game, not that complicated. What else have I played? Trap Words from CGE. Now, if CG are wanting to put extra things on the box to help sell it, you could put a lot better than I was expecting, or not as bad as I thought it might be. Basically, Trap Words is a party game, and I'm not that big on party games. Codenames is an exception. Codenames is fantastic because it's clever and it's thinky. And Trap Words is effectively Taboo with knobs on. And initially I was thinking, oh, okay. And I'd heard lots of stories about people playing it and people having fun, and I was thinking, yeah, but it's not going to be for me. And then I played it, and I've actually played it 2 or 3 times now, and it is actually quite good fun. That twist that makes it Taboo with a twist is what makes it a game. And CG have done a good job with the rulebook and the production value. I can say that because I really wasn't involved really in this game at all. So yeah, Trap Words from CG. I'll be playing that again because it's another game that you can actually start playing and other people can join in as you go along, which is great for the start of the night. Anachrony. So a couple of people came over one Friday and we were like, oh, what game shall we play? And there was 3 of us. And we agreed to play Anachrony. I think Rob had never actually played it, but wanted to. And Paul needed to play a game that he'd played before and was comfortable with. And Paul always wins at Anachrony, except for that once. And Anachrony is a game that I really like. I just think it's a solid worker placement game. And although people can argue that there's no theme in the game and it's completely abstract, I do enjoy the setting of the game. I do enjoy the fact that it's got this little bit of time traveling and you're borrowing things from the future, which you then have to build a time machine to pay back to your past set. I just think that's really cool. And I do like the game. I do like the way that it plays. So that was Anachrony. I've also played Cerebria, The Inside World. Sort of. So, I wrote the script for Cerebria because I've done the official how to play video for it. And what I need to do is I like to test my scripts. So I got some people round one Friday night and I basically said, right, I'm going to teach you how to play Cerebria, but I'm going to be doing so by reading out my script word for word. I blind test my scripts before I start filming to make sure that everything is clear and everything's in the right order. It's just part of the process I use for making videos. Now, 5 people were coming over that night, so with me, that's 6. Cerebria is a 4-player game. Excuse me, Cerebria is a 4-player game. Unless you have the expansion, which I don't have. But I really needed to test the script because it's a complex game and I didn't feel comfortable in recording the video until I'd tested the script. So basically, 6 of us, I taught 5 other people how to play Cerebria, and then the plan was that 4 of those people would then play Cerebria and 2 of us would break off and play some other game. But as it turns out, all 6 of us played Cerebria. So 4 people played it with me and Rick kind of helping out both sides by giving suggestions and then helping out with any rules queries and things like that. Andy was actually really tired. And after the rules explanation, which was about an hour, he was like, look, I'm really tired. Thank you very much. It sounds really interesting game, but I'm going to head off home. And it was like, oh, you know, and I felt bad that he'd come all the way round, listened to me teach him how to play a game, but now he was gonna head home. Anyway, persuaded him to just play 1 round or maybe even just a couple of turns, and 3 hours later he was still there and it was great. So I've not actually played it myself, but I'm adding it to this list anyway. Right, we also played Cerebria the card game, which isn't Cerebria the card game, but it is. What I mean is, Cerebria the card game is not really a card game version of Cerebria. Okay, Cerebria is a 2 versus 2 team game where you're fighting for control of this person's personality to shape them and everything else. Cerebria the card game is a 2 to 5 player competitive game. It's a very, very different game. It uses the same artwork, it has roughly the same theme, but it plays out very differently. And it plays in about half an hour and is not that complex. So yeah, it's nice, but if you're expecting Cerebria the board game in card game form, then it isn't that. What else did I play? Ingenious. So Wednesday night at the Columpton group, I normally take along a whole bunch of lighter games because some of the people there are not that experienced gamers, and we had 1 new person turn up this week as well. So I got out Ingenious or Genial or whatever. I actually have the Finnish version of this game. I've liked this game. I think I give it like a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. I should probably even give it a 10 because it's a great game. And I don't play abstracts, but this game is great. And I think it went down well. We played 4-player, and I only ever play the 4-player version as a team game, 2 versus 2. Because the board state changes a little bit too much between players if you play 4-player, everyone for themselves. So I played with my dad and 2 other people, they played as well. So yeah, really, really enjoyed that game. Always like playing it, never say no. Scorpius Freighter I've also played. These are not in any order because I played that before I played Ingenious. Anyway, Scorpius Freighter, AEG. Matthew Dunstan and David Shaw, 2 designers who've done games that I've really liked before. So I was very keen to try this one. It's also, I thought was going to be a bit of a pick up and deliver game, and I like pick up and deliver game. It's actually not, but yeah, I did enjoy the game. I've only played it the once, but 4 of us played it. We learnt how to play from the rulebook. We had 1 slight query, so the rulebook was pretty good. There was just 1 slight query and that was fine. And I think everybody enjoyed the game and want to play it again. So very, very quick review of Scorpius Freighter. enjoyed it, want to play again. There we go. Star Wars Destiny. I played a game of Star Wars Destiny with Rick. Now, to be fair, I'd built my own deck and Rick used one of the starter decks, so I absolutely crushed him. Needs to build your own deck, Rick. Right, welcome back to the dungeon. I played that on the same night as I played Genial, and I don't think I've ever won that game, but I did win that night. Now, I've played a lot more games than the other 3 people that were playing that game, and I've played that game about 4 times, and nobody else had. So when the dungeon got to about 10 cards and they were still bidding, and I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so I won that game, but it was a learning game for the others, and they learned not to bid too much and how dangerous the dungeon can be. Finally, on the last day of Essen, I played Welcome to, and I managed to win that as well. Really enjoyed Welcome to, taught it to a couple of extra people. Deepwater Games have got a massive hit on their hand with that one, and it's back on Kickstarter now with a whole new extra bunch of stuff. So that's the games that I've played. I'm hoping to play a lot more in November, starting tonight. Right, so content that I've produced. The Dice Hospital video finally went live at the start of October. I'd actually finished it in September, but the publisher Alicat Games wanted me to put it out just before backers got their copy. So that went live at the start of October. Dice Hospital, one of the hot games from Essen, sold out, getting really good reviews everywhere you look. Mike Nud, Stanislav Kodinsky, the designers, Alicat Games, the publisher, they've done a cracking job with it. And if you want to learn how to play, go and check out my Dice Hospital rules video. I also did the rules video for Cerebria. I mentioned earlier on that I played it to help test the script. That was a big challenge, and it actually took me longer than I thought. It was a big job. Took me almost 3 weeks to do, I think. Yeah, so if you want to learn how to play Cerebria, it is not as complex as I originally made out. I was originally thinking this is going to be the heaviest game in my collection, and somehow I did the rules video for the base game in just over 30 minutes, and I don't know how. And when you strip out all of the extra little fiddly complexity bits, the core mechanics are actually, oh, okay, this is easy. It's the gameplay. It's when you start playing it and you're like, oh, okay, right, I know how to play. Paul's been through all of the different actions and he's been through this and I get it. Oh, right, what am I going to do on my turn? Oh, right. So it's the depth of decisions that you have in the game. The decision space is pretty huge, and that's where it's going to take you a while to get your head around it. So the rules video for Cerebria is out there. I recommend watching it more than once. I also did a couple of podcasts. So I did a Pod Blast interview with Alexander Pfister talking about Blackout, Hong Kong, and his other games as well. So if you want to hear my interview with Alex, go and have a listen to that. And I did a pre-Essen podcast again with Matt and Tom, Creaking Shelves, and Slicker Drips. Wearing my Slicker Drips badge, by the way. Yeah, so if you want to listen to what we were excited about at Essen, then go and check out that. A quick mention, t-shirt, I forgot to mention it. So I'm wearing a t-shirt for AugustaCon. So a lovely couple I met at the Watch Your Game stand, and they basically wanted me to have a t-shirt. This is a convention which is run in Portugal at a monastery. And I think it's running at the start of December. So if you happen to be in Portugal at the start of December and want to go to a games convention at a monastery, then go and check this out. Right, moving on. What have we got? So another thing that I got up to in October was I went over to Germany, met up with just a couple of friends and played a few games. Well, actually, it was Essen, so it was more than a couple of friends, and I didn't actually play that many games. So Essen Spiel has happened, 2018, and like most people have said, it was an absolute blast. I had, like everybody, there was highs and there was lows, and when I get back and say, well, it was better for me than Gen Con, that's a good thing. So I was not working for CGE for the first time in many, many years. I was working for Isaac Childress at the Cephalofair Games booth, demoing Founders of Gloomhaven, which I enjoy demoing because it's a tricky game, and I believe it's the kind of game that a good demo and a good rules explanation can make a massive difference. And I've demoed that game about 60 or 70 times now, so I'm pretty comfortable with doing it. And I'm very happy with the way that the demos ran. Now, I was very happy about that, and I was very happy, obviously, working for Isaac and everything else. The downside of it was that I didn't manage to get that much sleep each night. Price, lovely guy, love him to bits. He snores quite badly, and that was a big problem in terms of disturbing my sleep, which meant I was getting more and more run down each day. And I was working full time, and this is the first year for about 3 years now that I've worked full time at Essen, and having that 45 minutes break to basically grab food and then rush around and see all of the people that I meant to see every day was just non-stop chaos. I mean, it was demoing constantly all day, every day. And my demo style is interactive, so it's not like I just teach them and then walk away. It was full on, all like that for an hour, hour and a quarter, hour and a half, then set up, next people, come in, do the same again, repeat, all day long. Lunch break, rush around like a crazy person. Oh, hello, chat, oh, here. Next year I'm going to look at going part-time again because it was just a bit too much. I got to miss out on a lot of stuff. You see all these other content creators taking photos of each other with everybody and hanging out and playing games, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just here working all the time. So definitely missing out on a lot of stuff that goes on. Thursday night, I did a gaming rules meetup, which I was somewhat nervous about. Johannes kept trying to calm me down and saying, it'll be all right. But when you've booked a place for 80 people, and then you find that there's going to be 100 people there, and then you get to the venue and they say, oh no, there's only space for 55 people. So I was very, very worried about it. A lot of people said they didn't come because they thought it was going to be too busy, which is a real shame because it would have been nice for them to come along and say hello. Oh, my tower's fallen over. Let's put that back. There we go. And then Friday night I had an Asmodee thing and then something else. I played one game on the Wednesday night with Isaac and Julie from Greenbrier Games, and that was a really nice night. It was just the three of us. We played Forum Trajanum. I beat Isaac, fantastic, and that was a nice night. But the rest of the nights it was just crazy. It was rushing around from one place to the next. Saturday night we went for something to eat. I thought, great, we'll just get something to eat and then back to the hotel room in a nice, calm, relaxing night and play a game. By the time we got back to the hotel, it was 10 o'clock. It was all very crazy, and I would have liked to have spent a lot more time with some people. But as I say, next year, if I go part-time, then hopefully that will pay for the trip, and also it means I can get to do some fun stuff. So yeah, Essen Spiel, overall good. Lack of sleep caused a few problems. Thank you to everybody who came and said hello. I had some really good chats with some of you, and some of you I just got a chance to say hello and get a photo. But there isn't enough time to do everything there. I certainly didn't have time to see any games. There's certainly plenty of games that I would have liked to have picked up. When I've seen Tom Heath's haul that he brought back from Essen, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure if I had time to actually look around, I'd have probably picked up roughly the same size haul. I'm happy with what I have got. Probably not going to even have time to play all of them. But anyway, yeah, so that was Essen. If you were there and you said hello, thank you very much. And I'll see you all there again next year. Plans for next month, plans for this month, because this is being recorded in November. Now, I'm going to talk about November and December. I am trying to cut down my workload at the moment. I've not had a holiday in almost 4 years. I'm absolutely exhausted and I'm behind on stuff. So my plan was to basically not do that much commissioned work in November and December. I've been having to say no to a lot of job offers that I've been getting in for rulebook editing work, and videos I'm cutting down on as well. Saying that, I have 3 videos planned. Next week, I am starting to film a rules video for Luna. Now, Tasty Minstrel Games contacted me and offered me the job of doing a rules video for Luna. Although I don't give my opinion on games which I am professionally involved in, i.e. ones that I've done a rules video for, I haven't done the rules video for Luna yet, and I love it. I think it's a fantastic game. So I'm not going to turn down the offer of doing a rules video for that. And I'm hoping, cross fingers, it's not going to take me that long to do, because I already know how to play the game and I've taught it to loads of people. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm going to be doing that next week. I'm also going to be doing a rules video for Trap Words from CGE, because I do videos for all of their new games. And again, Trap Words is a fairly light, simple game, so I don't think the video for that is going to take me that long to do. And that's it. That's the only commissioned work that I've planned for November at the moment, apart from maybe a couple of little rulebook edits on the way. The one video I have planned for December, a rules video, I haven't yet formally agreed with the publisher. I'm still in discussions with them. But it's a game which I'm super excited about doing the rules video for, so I'll mention that later on. So what am I planning to do for November and December? I am planning to do more Patreon content. I am behind on my Patreon content, and all of my patrons have been super supportive and fantastic and said, look, Paul, you've had like your worst year ever, especially the last few months. Don't worry about it. We're supporting you. And if you're behind on your reviews, then don't worry about it. However, me personally, yeah, that doesn't work. I owe people some reviews. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm planning on doing 8 reviews over November and December. And in fact, most of them are going to come in December because I'm going to spend November playing the games. And then December, I'm going to be doing the reviews. So I'm planning to put out a lot more reviews in December. There is a vote up on my Patreon page right now for producers and hire to vote on which games you want me to review. And basically the top 8, I will focus on playing them and I will do a review of them. I'm also planning to do a Pod Blast interview with Jackson Pope next week, talking about Flick Fleet, which is his latest game. I'm probably going to do another podcast recording as well, because I'm hosting a little sort of games weekend at the end of this month, where I'm going to be playing, hopefully, a lot of the new games. So there'll be a podcast recording there. But also, earlier on this year, I promised people that I would do a video on my top 5 games of 2017. Not done that yet. So I'm going to be doing that in December, which is going to be a bit funny that I'm going to be doing a video at the end of 2018 of the top 5 games I played in 2017. But anyway, maybe I'll do 2 videos. Maybe I'll do one for both. I also said that I would do a video basically covering my demo style. So there's a number of things that I promised through my Patreon campaign that I've not been able to deliver on. And that's on me. Obviously, circumstances outside of my control have affected that. But my plan is to give something back. I'm also planning to give something back to my executive producers as well. So more news on that later on. And I've also got some promos that I've been working on. So Stronghold Games have given me a bunch of promos, which I'm going to be giving away. CGE have given me a bunch of promos, which I'm going to be giving away. Gaming Rules polo shirts, dice. Basically, in December, I just want to start giving things back to my Patreon supporters. Because without you, I wouldn't be able to do most of the stuff that I'm doing at the moment. And yeah, that means a lot to me. So I want to give something back. And it's also been a bit of a difficult year, an extremely difficult year, and giving something back is going to make me feel good, and I kind of need that. So anyway, is that it? Is that everything on my list to talk about? Let's have a look at the list. Talked about that, talked about the t-shirt, mentioned Tom's badge. I think that's everything. So, as always, like I said at the start, if you like my content and you like what I do and you want to support me, support the channel moving forward and to do new stuff, then please consider supporting me over at patreon.com/gaming rules. And a massive thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who help keep me going. That's about it. So let's wrap things up. Thank you to everybody for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you've got any comments or feedback, please put them in the show notes below. And until next time, take care and thanks for watching.